Okay. Good afternoon, class, and welcome to Firecracker Chicken. I'm going to attempt to do this on two cameras. I have my work camera going on here that I'm moving around. You can see the high shot. And I have my phone camera over here that I'm going to kind of move around a little bit to try different angles. Just because I like recording a couple different ways. I have a hot pan of oil going. I've already got the meat. I actually got some combination of beef and chicken I'm going to mix together. I've already got the firecracker sauce made for what I'm making. I have my egg wash as one egg, and I have my cornstarch. You are able to season your cornstarch if you like to. It's perfectly understandable if you want to add a little flour or add a little flavor to it. But the nice thing about cornstarch is actually the great substitute for flour. But it gives your chicken and your pork, your beef, a little bit more of a different flavor and texture. You lightly coat it with your cornstarch. You're going to dip it in your egg wash. Get a nice coating. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because we want to get a nice crispy fry on the beef and on the chicken. Now that we're done with this, we put it to the side. We're going to use a fork that I already have the plastic fork in already. And just kind of mix it all around to get it coated. Now, the firecracker sauce, which will be posted on the menu on the website later, 3/4 cups of brown sugar, a third cup of Buffalo Frank's hot sauce, a tablespoon of vinegar, which we used apple cider. You can use rice wine vinegar. You can use white vinegar or red wine vinegar as a substitute. Do not use a balsamic or some other flavors. And then it's got a pinch of crushed red pepper and a pinch of salt in there. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to customize the menu a little bit, just so that way you can see how we can cook it all in one pan. The recipe does call it to cook it in the oven as well, but I'm going to kind of twist it up so you guys can see how the one pan cooking works. You're going to take your chicken and beef. You can do pork, you can do shrimp, you can do fish. Pretty much do anything you want. The reason why you coat it with the cornstarch and then the egg wash is to give it an outside encapsulation of egg and softness. It's going to help coat it and give it a nice tender taste. And again, I put a little salt and pepper in my cornstarch, and that's all I did. So the egg wash is now complete. I'm done with it. I put it to the side. It's all over with. I had the chicken and beef already pre-cut, so I haven't chickenized anything over here. But whenever you fry in a pan, and this is like a shallow fry, I'm on like a 7 or 8 electric stove. You want to make sure everything slides and moves. That's kind of a key factor when you're frying. You want to make sure everything moves. I also have some brown rice cooking, so it's a complete meal on the side. And then I'm going to drop in some fresh green peppers and also some frozen broccoli, just to make a complete meal, to really show you that I prefer to make complete meals as opposed to just parts and sides. But technique is more or less about making sure all your vegetables are cooked together, all your stuff is cooked together. So what I'm going to do is now, as this cooks nice and warm, kind of want to make sure your pieces are separate. You want to flip them around. You're looking for a nice golden brown. The egg wash is going to what gives it that golden brown color. And again, what the egg wash is doing is encapsulating or coating the chicken or beef. Again, you can use pork or fish or shrimp, whatever you want. And you're going to toss it around. I'm going to let that sit and cook some more. Now, what I have here is some peppers. And just because I like to add flavor and more texture to it, I'm just going to do some strips. If I had onions, I'd put onions in, but can you believe it? I don't have any onions at my school. Or not in my classroom anyway. So I'm just going to take a few pepper strips just to put in there for more flavor, a little more texture, and also to make it more of a complete meal. Now, again, every time you add something to the table, you should always season. So I'm going to take a pinch of just salt and just try to salt just the peppers, because that's really the part that has to deal with it. As well, I'm going to show you, as you can see, I got a little pot of brown rice cooking. I use some cardamom pods, some salt, pepper, and a little bit of olive oil in there to give the rice a little more flavor. And again, I have brown rice available. That's the main reason why I'm cooking it. It's something I do enjoy eating. Not always a favorite of mine, but it does nice. And then I'm going to take my peppers, just toss them, cook them real quick. Because we're going to cook all this in one pan. Now, the recipe does tell you should cook this in the oven at 330 when you're done for, a while. I think it's just 45 minutes. But we're not going to do that route. We're going to change it up a little bit. And the reason I do that is I just want to show you really, really fast and simple. I have a pan here that I use with my students today. It's got some extra grease in it. See how there's extra grease in there just from cooking? I don't want that to sit and simmer in my sauce. I want that to come out. So I'm just going to strain it out. Get rid of it. And a lot of people do this at home anyway when they're cooking because they need the flavor, but they don't want all the stuff in there. Now we put it back in. Real fast, really simple. That's going to go in the garbage later on. A little toss. Now we take our sauce. Again, I didn't make a big batch. I just made enough to make sure we make this one dish. I'm going to take the sauce, pour it all the way around. Let that start to simmer. Turn the heat down to a 1 and cover it. So that'll be the complete part of that dish. Now, with my rice, and because my broccoli is frozen, there's nothing wrong with using frozen vegetables. I'm going to take the broccoli and just drop it right in the hot rice, just like that, and just cover it. Okay? And we're going to let that sit and simmer. Now, I'm going to stop the clock right here. Give it a minute. I'll be back shortly with a complete project and product.